I'm Cheryl. I got this a Little Wild bundle just recently. And it's really cute. It's got all these little animals near the front and the backs of them, and they're set up. Well, let me show you the stamp that I'm using today. So you see how the bear is set up here, and then the die cuts, you can use them to make tags. So of course that's the first thing you think of when you see this set. Oh, it makes cute little tags for baby gifts, and of course, like, you can make baby cards with it because they are cute. But I don't get that much opportunity to use things like that, so I'm gonna go outside of that thinking, and I made this card, which is actually a birthday card. And on the inside it says, "Happiest of birthdays to you." So let's get started on this card. I'm going to show you how to make your make ribbon to match your card too during the video. So what we need to start out with, we need a whole bunch of pieces of Whisper White. We need a card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then we need a little bitty piece here, and this is 2 by 2 1/8, and that will be on our card front. Well, all of these will be on the card front. Then I've already pre-cut these dies because it's just standard die cutting. You need a piece that's 2 3/4 by 2 1/2, and another piece that's 3 1/2 by 3 1/4. And one thing I will say, when you die cut them, when you have shapes like this where you have a flat shot side, they will die cut better for you if you cut them on a diagonal like this. Let me show you the paper I cut these out of. See? So instead of lining them up with the flat sides going into the die cutting machine, if you do it so that, you know, the corners go in, it will cut a lot nicer for you. Okay, so we've got that. We've got these little pieces. These are already die cut. I told you the sizes. And it will be listed down below anyway. And then I have another piece of Whisper White, and this is 5 by 3 3/4. So we've got all these little bits here. Let me put them off to the side. Like I said, I used a Little Wild. Oh, and you also need just a little piece of like printer paper, because we need to make ourselves a little mask. So, okay, so I used a Little Wild stamp set, and I used the bear right here, and I just fussy cut. I only need to fussy cut my mask out. I fussy cut that because I wanted it very close to the edges here. Okay, and I used birthday blooms. I used the For You, Dear Friend. I used Dear Friend. Of course, you could use For You, but I put Dear Friend and Happiest of Birthdays. That's another stamp I used. And then, this might seem really odd, but I used A Season Like Christmas. And in this set, they have these little scribbly dot things. They're supposed to be the ornaments on the tree, but I used these. We're gonna stamp a little background for our bear using these. Okay. I also used for the little bumblebee, on the front here. I used just used any old yellow marker to color it in, and then I used just a little bit of pale blue. I think I used, what did I use? I used Light Pool Party. I got the blends markers. I used the Light Pool Party to just give the wings just a little swipe so they're different from the bear. I used a little bit of the dark crumb cake on his nose, and I don't know what marker. I think I just used a regular Stampin' marker on the B. So, let me put that up there. You can see that it's colored in. Yeah. You can hardly see that it's colored in. And you know what? If you didn't color any of those bits at all, I don't think it's going to make any big drastic difference. Then the die set I used is one I found out on AliExpress. You can get die sets very reasonable, and I'll put a link for this below. You'll need an Aqua Painter. You'll need Snail, Tombow, Dimensionals, and I have a piece of fun foam, and this is 4 3/4 by 3.5. You'll see what I'm using that for as I go along. I have some 5/8 inch ribbon, and this did not match my ink. I used Pacific Point ink, and of course also the Memento, the Tuxedo black ink, but this did not match my ink, so I dyed some ribbon to match, and I'll show you how I did that. So let's do that first, because that's the messy part on this card, and it does need time to dry. And I just cut a little snip here. I have a piece over on the side here. I think it's pretty well dry by now, but I'll just show you on this little bit, because it's really not this big complicated thing. Okay, so you just use your Pacific Point ink, and you just want to take your ribbon, and of course I had a big piece, so I could just go back and forth like this. Let me show you. I'm not going to actually put it on the ink. So I just held the ends here, and I cut my ribbon, so I had little ends to hold on to while I did this, and just rubbed it back and forth over my ink pad like this until I had it pretty well covered. Okay, but I'm just using a little snippet here, and let's see, what can I'll just use a pair of scissors to get it, hold it down against the ink pad. Okay, so now you see I have that pretty well inked, except right here on the ends where I'm holding it. And let me put my Pacific Point ink aside so I don't accidentally stick my arm in it. Pacific Point loves me. It gets all over me. Look at, see my hand? Oh, maybe you can't see too well, but I have, my hands are all kind of a pale blue color from when I made the demo, or the sample card. So anyway, so we have our bit of thing here, and then we just take our Aqua Painter with a little bit of water in it and just blend it out to make sure that the whole bit of ribbon's covered. And then this will have to get cleaned off. Let me grab my paper towel that I was using here and clean out my Aqua Painter. And if you don't have Aqua Painters, you just use a regular brush with some water, and that's fine. And then I'm going to dab out some of that moisture on here, clean up my mess on my mat. And if you don't have a silicone mat, you might want to work on a bit of plastic, or just some plastic wrap. Let me get that cleaned up, because I don't want Pacific Point ink all over bits of my card. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's my little bit of ribbon, and it'll dry and it'll match my Pacific Point ink. I'm going to throw that in the trash though, because I don't need that hanging around. So, oh, one more thing you're going to need. You'll probably want a bit of scrap paper. Okay. So, let's do our bear next. So, like I said, you're going to want to make yourself a little mask. So, just take a bit of thin paper, printer paper, or I'm using coupons that I got in the mail that I'm not going to use. And we'll take our bear, and we just need to ink up just the bear, the front of the bear. Okay. And stamp that out. And then you'll just fussy cut around the outside of that bear. Okay, so next let's do the little center part in our card. Okay, so I have my piece, and make sure, because it's 2 1/8 by 2, we want the bear to go top to bottom on the 2-inch width. So it'll go 2 1/8 side to side, 2 inches top to bottom. So once again, I'll ink that stamp up. And I got a little bit on the other bears here. I'll grab a diaper wipe here. And I'm just going to very, very carefully, clean off that bit so I don't stamp that on here. Because I just want the front of the bear. And I'm going to try to get that in the center here. A little hard with because they're rubber stamps, but that's okay. So there he is. Oh, that looks nice. Let me just wipe that stamp off. And yes, I'll clean it properly later. Cleaning your stamps with the diaper wipe is not the best thing to do. Okay, so we have our little bear there. Now I have my mask that I've already cut out and used. I'm just going to place that. I have some repositionable tape on the back here. If you have you want to use a post-it note or anything like that, that's fine too. But I just don't keep that kind of supply around here. So I use the repositionable tape. We're going to use our Pacific Point ink and those Christmas ornament stamps from that Season Like Christmas stamp set. So we're just going to load that up with Pacific Point, and we're just going to stamp until there's no ink left on the stamp. This is very easy. Let me turn that. And we want to get ink right up to the edge of that bear. Get everything all covered. So there's a little point on the tree at the top. I'll ink that up and just get in there. Everywhere close to that bear. You just want that all covered with these little round things. They almost look like bubbles or just little scribbled circles. I don't know. But it made a nice background for this. Okay, that's good now. Need to wipe my hands. I have Pacific. You see, I'm collecting even more Pacific Point. And it's funny because, I do get ink on my hands with other colors, but this one is real Pacific Point. It just loves me, I'm telling you. And close that up so I don't get more of that on me. Alright, so there we've got our little thing here. And we'll carefully peel this off. Okay. So there he is. You see what I mean? He's just as cute with no color at all on him. I'm going to put him on the card just like that. Okay, so now let's see, what else stamping do we have? We have the Dear Friend. So we'll bring in the piece that's 5 by 3 3/4, and we'll bring our card front in here and get that stamping done. I'm pretending I'm waiting for my piece of ribbon to dry. So if you did your ribbon first, you could be doing all this while you're waiting for your ribbon to dry. Okay, so on the inside of the card, we're going to use the Happiest of Birthdays to You stamp. When I put this again, it's a rubber stamp. When I put my rubber stamps on, I try to line it up either top of the stamp or the bottom of the stamp, so that I have something to guide me, so that I can get a straight stamp here. So hopefully I got it, put it on there well, and there we go. We got that one stamped. And now I'll do the Dear Friend for the front. And of course, always make sure before you stamp that you have your stamp the right side up. And we're going to put this stamp down in the right hand bottom corner here. And there's that one. That came out very nice. And provided your ribbon is dry now, we can start putting our card together. Okay, so we need to bring in our little squares with the little eyelet looking, lace looking edges on them. And I didn't tell you which ones I used, I don't believe. But I used not the largest one, but the second to the largest, and then the next size down, so the third from the largest. So this one and this one. And put that aside, put that aside. We're going to start with our little bear. I'm going to use some Tombow glue on the back so I can get it lined up properly. We use a lot of dimensionals on this. We've got a lot of popping up, but this not this one. This one goes flat. And this is the smallest eyelet square. And I just line that up real nice. Just like that. And let's see, where did my dimensionals go? Here we go. Brand new pack of dimensionals. And we'll get our larger eyelet square out here. And on the back of the smaller one, we'll put some dimensionals on there. I'm just going to put 4 on here. 1 in each of the corners. Peel them off. If you have a hard time getting these off, give them a little poke with your nail, and that helps to get them going. Okay, and then we're going to line this up. Going to center that on the larger eyelet square. Okay, and then we'll have to add our ribbon to this larger panel. So I'm going to put my little squares down here where I want them, and I'm going to take a pencil, and just on the inside here, I'm just going to make a little mark. Okay, so now I know where I need to place my ribbon. That will be right, put my ribbon right over those little tiny marks I made. Let me bring my ribbon in here, and it's nice and dry. That's good. I have my snail, and I'm just going to put snail from one end of that ribbon to the next, and turn that around. Oh, maybe it's not as dry as I thought. I left some ink there on the table. So there, we can put that on just like that. We'll wrap that around. And then it just, because we put snail all the way across, it's stuck down really well. And that ribbon's not going to go anywhere. Let me wipe that up. There we go. Okay, so now we can put this on the card front. And I centered this side to side and the same width from distance from the top. So now we need some more dimensionals. So I'll put one in each of the corners. And maybe I'll put one in the middle. I'll put one in the middle too on this one. So now we have another pop-up layer. This is a cute little stamp set. This a little wild. I got it because I wanted to make magnetic bookmarks. A friend of mine, Cindy, from Cinder's Paper Crafts, had these little darling little bookmarks, magnetic bookmarks on her Facebook or her YouTube channel. So this is my first one. Let's pretend this is a book page, and there's my bookmark, and I just put it right there in place, and it holds my page. Isn't that cute? So, but yeah, she had that on her YouTube channel. I thought they were just the cutest things, so I got the set, and I figured I can always use them for tags and stuff. But then I started seeing all these in my mind, all these other things I could do with this. Okay, so you want to make sure we're going to put this on our card front. You want to make sure that it opens the proper way before you attach everything. And this is where our piece of fun foam goes down. Instead of dimensionals, I'm just going to put this, I'm going to glue this piece of fun foam to the back. And I made it just a little bit smaller so it doesn't show on the edges. And I'll use the Tombow glue. Put that on my fun foam. Some people call it craft foam. You can get this just about anywhere. Any craft place, any you could probably even get at Walmart. And then I put that not on this yet. I'm gonna put this on the back of my panel for the front of the card. Let's see. So I've got that on the back. I've got that glued, and then I'm going to put more Tombow on it. And we will put that on our card front. And we made sure it was opening the correct way. And just center that. About 1/4 of an inch showing on all sides. Press that down. And this is a good way, if you're going to send things through the mail, you might have even wanted to do that in back of each of these pop-ups. You use that craft foam instead of dimensionals. And that gives it more support when it's going through the mail. And we know things happen when cards go through the mail. So, and that's it. That's our card. We're finished. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, then hit the like button down below. If there are any Stampin' Up! Products you'd like to purchase, then you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. And as always, I will list all of the materials and the paper sizes that I used here in this card. So, y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.